back to the ground with the only free MMA channel that fucking matters, Full-Time MMA, and we got problems. Michael Bisping and George St. Pierre agreed to fight on Michael Bisping's podcast about 4 days ago. They talked about the fact they had a press conference. I'm telling you right now, this shit was cringy as fuck to me. It sounded like they were begging the fans to plead for the fight so Dana would make it happen, but Dana said no, we'll get to it. So they were talking about the fact that they had a press conference and the fact that they were supposed to fight, but fortunately, he was like, sometimes bad luck leads to good luck, so we both had injuries, and so now we can fight, but Robert Whittaker, he's injured, so I never was injury, but now maybe we can fight in December. Oh my god, it was so cringy. I've got the audio. I'm going to put it at the end of this as well as Dana White's response. I got the audio to that too. I'm going to put both of those at the end of this, so I'm going to make this short. So, yeah, pretty much they agreed to fight, but Dana White was asked about this yesterday on his birthday, the day before UFC 214, and the reporters asked him about Michael Bisping and George St. Pierre agreeing to fight, and he said the ship has sailed. Robert Whittaker's healing up from his injury. Michael Bisping will be fighting Robert Whittaker when he's healed up from his injury. And one thing I'll say about that is Dana White said Michael Bisping's never turned down a fight. So if Dana White offers him Robert Whittaker and Michael Bisping says no, that could ruin his legacy as far as never turning down a fight. And I don't think he wants to do that because Michael Bisping is known as never turning down a fight, man on deck. So I think Dana White's right here. I mean, these guys agreed to fight, but just for the simple fact Robert Whittaker's the interim champion now. That's a problem as far as their fight's concerned because the interim champion is guaranteed to fight the current champion. So that would be it is entertainment as far at this point. So I mean, if all of you want to see this fight, Michael Bisping versus George St. Pierre, instead of George St. Pierre versus the winner of Tyron Woodley, Damian Maia, and Michael Bisping versus Robert Whittaker, which is how I would rather see it. I'd rather see George St. Pierre come back and fight the welterweight champion, and Michael Bisping defend his belt against the middleweight contending champion. Because we haven't seen Michael Bisping fight against a middleweight contender yet, and George St. Pierre never fought at middleweight, so he really doesn't have any business skipping in another contender to fight for the middleweight belt. It's a little bit of a shit show, but at the same time, they are two legends of the sport, so it is somewhat of a sport fight. So at the same time, I wouldn't be mad if the fight happened. I would just rather see them both in their respective weight classes fighting the respective contenders. Now, so let's get to the audio of Michael Bisping and George St. Pierre agreeing to fight each other, and Dana White saying it's not happening. Michael Bisping will be fighting Robert Whittaker. The ship has sailed. It is what it is, man. Hit subscribe. I got a new outro. Check that shit out. Hit subscribe, thumbs up. I'm out, man.
Oh, screw it. Let's go back to plan A. Let's fight GSP.
Mike.
Let's make some money.
I'm sorry to cut you off, my friend. I think we have George here. George St. Pierre, former UFC 170-pound champion, legend, debatably pound-for-pound greatest fighter of all time, joins the Believe You Me podcast. How are you, my friend?
Doing well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
What's up, George? How you doing? Michael Bisping here. First of all, thanks for joining us. Where are you right now? You back in Montreal?
Yes, I'm in Montreal at the Olympic Stadium right before training. I'm about to go train, talking to you guys. Hopefully, it will give me some energy.
So listen, here's the thing, George. I mean, as you know, we had the press conference at the start of the year, and then for whatever reason, I'm not sure, well, of course, you had a procedure that you had on your eyes that kind of slowed down your return, and then based upon that, it seems like the UFC didn't want to do the fight. Now, I'm still 100% invested, but I did agree to fight the winner of Whittaker and Yoel. Of course, now Whittaker is out for a while. So from where I'm standing, I don't have an opponent yet. So sometime towards the end of the year, you know, I mean, we had the press conference. I'm a man of my word. If you want to do this, George, then we can do it towards the end of the year if you're up for it.
Yeah, I can do it. Anytime. I can do it anytime. Like I said, I've said that multiple times. Anytime after November. After October. November 1st, I could do it. Sometimes in sport, it's unfortunate. The misfortune of people make the good luck of others, and that's what happened in this case. Like I had an injury, you had an injury, which created the opportunity for another guy, but the other guy, Robert Whittaker, had a bad luck, so he had an injury who put us back, I believe, into the initial situation that we were in. So it's up to Dana White. I text Dana. He knows that I wanted to fight you, and hopefully, if the boss wants, the fight gonna happen. I think it's the fans want to see this fight. For myself, I invest myself a lot into this. I was following a diet and everything. I hired a dietitian and spent a lot of time, money, and energy on this. That's why it was frustrating for me when I heard the fight was not going to happen. But like I said, the misfortune of Robert Whittaker, unfortunately, I like him. He's a very nice guy. He got an injury. I never wish people bad luck, but because of his misfortune, perhaps that put us back right in the initial situation that we were supposed to fight each other, which I hope will happen, hopefully November.
Okay, well, I mean, that's good to hear from my perspective, George. And listen, at the start of the year, we had the press conference, and of course, I was talking a lot of shit there, but I've known you for a long time. I have a lot of respect for you, and I have a lot of respect for your abilities inside the octagon. And I look forward to fighting you. Hopefully we can make this happen. Hopefully after people hear this, the fans hear this, you want to fight me. I want to fight you. The interim champion now is sidelined. I don't see a reason why this shouldn't happen. So fingers crossed, my friend, we get to do this at the end of the year.
Yeah, hopefully it will happen. It's in the end of Dana. I hope the boss will want to make the move. We'll see what's going to happen. Exactly.
Woodley's never going to let Maia come near him. He's going to be running from him all night, trying to land that big shot. And I think Maia's going to be chasing him around, trying to clinch.
And the winner gets GSP, or
the winner gets GSP.
Did you meet with him? Is it correct that you said Michael Bisping's ship has sailed now when it comes to GSP?
I said that Michael Bisping what?
The ship had sailed.
That ship sailed. That's gone. Whittaker in his last fight messed up his knee, so we'll wait for him to heal up and get better, and he and Bisping will fight next.
What do you get when you mix birth control with LSD? A trip without kids. Shit sounds fun.